Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. Sip Jet. It's your boy, Emilio, the Honey Badger Urrutia, with our host, JP Mestanza, and special guest today, straight out of Manchester, my man's Brendan Loughnane.
Well done, first time, Loughnane. Well done, brother.
Welcome
Great to be here. Thank you.
My man, welcome to the podcast, brother. We're really excited to have you because we've had like a few guests, but it's always people we know. So it's kind of hard talking to people you know, like trying to get to know what to ask them. But I literally don't know nothing about you.
Perfect. Well, we've crossed paths and we're like, I'm not telling you shit until we do it.
Yeah. I've seen you a little bit since we known you were gonna be on the podcast, and I was like, all right, I don't want to say much because I had so much to pick your brain about. But me and JP did your Carfax today. Mm-hmm. We pulled up your 401. We did some research on you,
nice.
Pulled up the typology, went deep into the archives.
Sick.
So to pick up some good stuff, man. So hey, really thank you for coming on the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you, man. To take the time to come out here. It's a little bit of a mission,
Bro, so, I'm stoked to be here. Like, we're all just chilling at the minute. This is like the perfect thing to do. I love doing stuff like this.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. All right, awesome, bro. So let's introduce the people. So, man, MMA veteran in the game. Started off training back home in England, right? Mm-hmm. Europe, and then man. So for people that don't know, Brendan's a UFC vet, tough competitor vet, ACB veteran. Now fighting in the $1 million tournament for PFL at the featherweight division.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And now that you're just reeling them off, I'm like, wow, I am only 30 years old and I have been around.
That was going to be my next question. Bro. I'm looking at your shit and I'm like, bro, you've been in the UFC. You got to the UFC early in your career. Yeah. And then when you got out, you kept it going, bro. You've been fighting the best. Oh, and Bama as well. Competed in Bama also, right? Yeah. So you fought for all the major organizations in the game, and you're not even 30 years old yet.
Well, yeah, I just turned 30. We were just talking about this. I mean, he was doing a video on me when I was, he just came in 2012. And that's how long I've been coming back and forth from Thailand. That was my first ever trip. And I don't know, something feels like home here. Something just draws me back. It's like a magnet. It's like, I go around other places and stuff, but I don't know, I love the vibe in Phuket. And, guys like yourselves are veterans out here now. Wow, how long you been here now? How long?
Man, I got here in 2013. And I think JP
2012, April 2012.
Oh,
it's been eight years to this month.
So just when I got there, you was just come before that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. When you first got here, I was like, "Who's this guy?" And then someone told me, "Oh, he's gonna go do this thing." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then that's when I met you in 2012, and it's crazy how you come right back in
2020. Like, what's going on? Where's them 8 years going?
Oh, so 8 years later. So let's talk about it. Yeah. So how did you first find out about what first brought you to Phuket to check out this crazy island?
I've got a pretty funny story. So I went and I was on Tough. And I'd always wanted to travel the world, but with fighting, it's kind of hard because it needs to be a good gym where I'm going to go because I'm always going to stay competing and active. And I just fought in Australia on the Tough finale in the UFC, and it's crazy. Like the guy that I was with out there, I was like, we were flying back to England, London it was, and I was like, you know what? I was like, just take my bag, bro. I'm going Thailand, like because I knew Australia was close to Thailand. And I was like, I might never get the chance to do this again. I know I've got a bit of time off now before the next fight. I've heard great things about Tiger. It was when Tiger had just been announced. It was up and coming then. And I was like, took a little backpack, and I mean a rucksack. Yeah. Went to Tiger Muay Thai on my own. Didn't know anybody. And like, that was my first ever proper journey. But the guy who was cornering me, one of my good friends, Jimmy Harbison from New Jersey, jiu-jitsu guy, I don't know if you know him, James Harbison.
No, I've never met him.
So he was like, he's traveled the world. He's like, bro, you really need to do it. Just go. Like, you'll broaden your mind. Your experience in life even. So I was like, I had a great fight. I had some money in the bank. And I was like, right. And then never looked back. I've just been coming back here for the next 8 years.
Wow, man. Have you done full camps here too?
I've never actually seen it out until fight week.
Okay.
But I've always done the pre-camps. But I'm going to see it out this time.
So you come out here, get some skill training in, enjoy the beach, get around, enjoy the sun, and
see
then
some
get
women.
some work in. See some women.
Let's be real.
It's never a bad thing.
Come on, let's be real. Like, come on.
There's only a few reasons why we fight. You know what I'm saying? And like money and women, or like usually the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can't sing or I can't dance, but I can fight.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hell yeah. And man, so how long you been training now, yo?
So started at 17 years old.
17 years old.
17, straight into mixed martial arts, no martial arts experience whatsoever. Was doing soccer, playing soccer at a pretty high level in the UK. Then it got to like my next door neighbour was fighting. I used to go to all his fights, and this was when MMA was barbaric. No one didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
We were like had to go to like a shop 20 minutes away to get a VHS under the counter type of Pride videos when it first started, sort of thing. So I got intrigued by it then, and I looked up to him as a fighter and as a person. I was like, I want to be like him, and then
Yo, and he was already a professional.
Yeah, he was fighting in Cage Warriors. Remember Cage?
Oh,
Cage,
yeah. Have you ever fought for Cage Warriors?
I haven't. That's the one.
That's
UK.
the one you're missing.
That is the
you're
one
missing.
I'm missing. It nearly happened one time though. We had a big rivalry with one guy on there, but the contract kind of got in the way. But
okay.
So I met him, went in, done that, and then I remember coming home from school one day, backpack on, he went whoop in the back of the car, headlock. You come in. 17 years old, and then now I'm 30, sat here talking to you about it.
Yo, that's crazy. And did you have good kicks from soccer? From playing football?
I think that's where they come from.
Kicking.
Well, you see guys like Aldo, other soccer players when they used to got mean leg kicks.
Yes.
You do build up a good solid leg foundation through kicking the ball so much.
You have a good snap at that, huh?
At
the end there, you know. Damn, that's awesome, man. That's beautiful, bro. So then, how old were you when you made your pro debut? Were you just like shortly after? You were still 17?
So I was training. I was training for 10 months, 4 hours a week, 2 hours on a Tuesday, 2 hours on a Thursday. Like this real raw gym where everyone was figuring MMA out at that time. Like, what is this thing? How do we train for it? Never knew what cutting weight was. Like it was just a whole new thing to me, because you guys growing up in wrestling and martial arts, and it's big in the US, things like cutting weight, like we'd never heard of it in the UK. We were just starving ourselves to death.
Man,
training stupid hours. And then 10 months I had my first fight. Did not think I was ready for it. I thought, why is this guy putting me in for a fight? There's no way I'm ready for this. And then went in and kind of just felt it out, knocked the guy out. And then I remember the second one was the funniest story, because then they give me a guy who was like 5-0 with all knockouts, thinking that I was a knockout guy, but I knew I fluked it. I was like, shit, I fluked the life out of that fight. I remember not sleeping the night before, terrified, like, shit. You know what I mean? I've wrote a check that I can't cash here, sort of thing. And now I won that one, and then it was just been a roll.
Man.
How many months were you training when you got that second fight?
10 months, and then the second month, I'd probably say another 4 months after that.
Okay,
so I was still green. You know what I did? I've got a funny story about that. So the night before, I was that nervous. It was a 3-hour drive to this fight, and we were leaving at 9 a.m. I'm like, right. So like trying to sleep, can't sleep. I took a load of sleeping pills like an idiot. I was only young.
Oh shit!
Took a load of sleeping pills, still didn't sleep. And then like I remember the door knocking to go, and I'm like, oh my god. And I felt the pills kicking in as I'm in the car right there. I'm like, oh, my arms don't work, you know, and I knew I just had to get the guy out of there as quick as possible. I come out the gates and had one of my best knockouts and flew at him. Like, terrified I was.
But time is of the essence, right?
Pretty much, like, get it out of there quick, and then like that now reeling off all them things there, like 30 years old, sat here still loving it. Been really fortunate to fight all over the world, and been really lucky with injuries also. A lot of people, like, that's where we see the end of the careers, and I've been really lucky with that.
That's so true, man. That's so true. A lot of the game is just staying healthy, you know, like staying healthy and staying around, you know, like staying around, and eventually everybody seems to make it their spot somewhere, you know. Wow, man. And so you started out in England. It wasn't you. So you kind of like part of that like rise of English MMA, because there's a lot of great English fighters right now. You have Michael Bisping now, former champ, and a few guys, Darren Till, Leon Edwards. You know, like a lot of top guys now, right? Like,
I mean, it's had a massive influx now, and I used to go to America a lot later on in my career, well, recently, and I was to do the training, but then like all our English guys was beating them, and I was like, damn, do I need to rap? Like, are them days gone now? Do we really need to come here anymore? You know what I mean? And like, we've got high level gyms in the UK now. I mean, we've got some gyms with 5 or 6 UFC fighters in there. So, but this is where I find my home. This is where I like the training, and this is where I feel comfortable as a person, and this is where I can get the best out of myself. So that's what keeps gravitating me towards Thailand.
That's awesome. Hey, you know, I have a thing about this, because like, European, especially like in England, there's a lot of really good fighters, a lot of good, man, Brad Pitt, the list goes on, you know? And I was thinking like, it's true, but you guys evolve really fast. You know what I'm saying? For not having like a wrestling, a country that has like a wrestling pedigree, or in the school system, or even like a jiu-jitsu pedigree.
Listen,
you know,
are we're all forgetting the UK ran the world. At one time, we was the biggest empire in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True,
it's deep in our blood, you know, with that kind of character, and we've got fighting spirit deep inside us. And I think that comes out with the English and the Irish were very similar, and they're having a massive influx right now as well. You know, they've got a load of great Irish fighters, a lot of great English fighters, and I just think for such a small nation, with this big, like, you're the size of a pin drop, you know what I mean, on the map, and it's like, for the talent that comes out of there, it's deeply inbred in us. I really believe that.
Yeah, and all my British friends are scrappers, you know? They're all scrappers at heart, you know?
We love it.
I used to tell my buddy Shay Walsh, you know my buddy, Shay from the England scene and stuff like that. And I used to always tell him, he's like, what, he's got the blood of the first man, being from England and shit, you know? He's got it's generations and generations, you know?
For real.
Hard cunts, you know?
Bro, listen, like...
Straight up.
Put an English guy in a scrap, he'll scrap. Like, my favourite, the guy I looked up to growing up, Paul Daly, look at this guy.
I forgot about Paul Daly, biggest hitter, yo.
How do you forget?
Paul Daly.
He's the godfather. He's the godfather of UK MMA. He's the guy that I look up to. Forget all the rest. This guy, 65 pro MMA fights, fought everyone, still fighting. Yeah. Started off before everyone, and he's still in there, still knocking guys out at this stage. He's got 37 knockouts, I think, now, out of 50 50 wins. And it's like insane amount of KOs, and that's the guy I looked to growing up.
Yeah, Masvidal just said recently that he's the hardest hitter he's ever fought. Like the hardest.
Did he really?
Hit. He said it was the hardest ever been hit, and he blocked it. He's like, he caught that shit on his
glove.
Bro,
remember the Nick Diaz fight?
That was the
Diaz and Daly. Yeah. Absolutely. Insane.
What a scrap.
I would love to see that again right now with them two guys.
Those are the glory days.
That was the day.
That's got to be one of the greatest rounds in MMA history, yo. Like,
he went down.
I don't know if it holds. Yeah, I think it holds up, yo. But man, fucking Nick Diaz used to go in there like with the intention, like he's like, I'm gonna try and lose this fucking fight as hard as I can for the first 2 minutes, and if I don't lose, I'm gonna smash.
Bro, he
I'm
got
gonna
dropped
wreck this guy.
and just thought, fuck it, carried on walking forward. I was like, and then dropped him. Then he dropped him.
Yeah, man.
Savages.
The body shots, just like that was crazy. That was what a fucking fight.
Did Daly beat Masvidal?
He beat him, but it was bullshit. It was like on a shark fights. It was like on a random card in Florida, and I was just like, at that time, it's like when I first started training. Right. I was like a big Masvidal fan, and I was just like, I wouldn't miss one of his fights, But this was like in between one of the big shows. I think it was in between Strikeforce and UFC. And
I'm so happy for Masvidal to get the love he's getting now. Yeah. That guy is an OG, from fighting in gardens, taking all the toughest fights he possibly could, and to finally get the love he's getting. And I've trained with him. I've met him. He's a cool guy.
Oh, you trained with him?
Yeah, he come living. I was staying at Dominic Cruz's last year. I was there for 7 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was with him, and he come out to Dom's, and he was staying there. He was living with us. And yeah, he was training out there, and he's a really cool guy.
In California?
Yeah.
Yo, you were living with Dominic Cruz?
Yeah, I've been going there since the Tom Ducamar fight, since like about 5 or 6 years. I've been going back and forth to your house.
Yo, I'm such a big fan of him. Damn, that's one of my favorites coming up, man, because he was a cardio machine, dog. Workhorse. Yo, I remember watching a video of him doing like hill sprints on UFC back in the day, like UFC Fox, and I couldn't believe the hills. And it was like so fucking, it was like big as fuck, and like I got motivated to do hill sprints.
Well, it was the same thing. I was on Tough, and his coaches came out to do the Tough. Dom's coaches. It was Alliance who came out to be our coaches, because we had Ross Pearson was our coach. So that was the connection. That was the connections between me and Alliance. And then I got a big fight, and I called Ross, and Ross was like, come to Alliance. And he said, Dom's got room in his house. I went, Dom? He went, Dom Cruz. And I was like, what the I remember like pulling up in San Diego, never been to the States before. Well, I went once when I was younger, and like rolled into his house. He was just sat there. I was like, he's like, yeah, your room's over there, bro. I'm like, what is going on right now?
This is just after Ultimate Fighter.
And I was there for 6 months, and then I went home, and then I went back again for another 6 months, and I've been going back and forward. So I've been doing a little circle, really. I've been going Thailand, States, UK, Thailand, States, UK. I've been doing a big circle.
Wow,
so, yeah, blessed, like I say.
How's California? It's pretty dope training and stuff like that.
San Diego's sick.
How's Alliance? Good
we had
bodies?
great. At one time, it was me, Darren Caldwell, Miles Joris, Jeremy Stevens. We had a mean featherweight. The featherweight lineup in there was disgusting. So it was great in there. I enjoyed it, and I still do. Still go back. Still great guys. Kept it good with everybody there.
Yo, Miles Jury was on the Tough with Dominic Cruz.
I know.
I wonder if that's how they met.
That is how they met.
Oh, because my wrestling coach was on that Ultimate Fighter. My wrestling coach, Mike Rio.
Right.
Yeah. So he was on the Ultimate Fighter. And so that was a crazy season because they were fighting like they were live. They were fighting every week live, you know. So I was like, I remember watching that. So I know all those guys from that season because I remember my coach.
Well, he's cornered me in my last 3 fights now.
Miles.
No, Dom in the last 3 last year.
Wow, really? Sick, PFL and everything.
Yeah. He did the contender one and the 2 PFL. So yeah, he's got my back, man. He's a good guy. He's a good guy to have around.
And you guys work the footwear. He works all that
every day. Yeah, just beat the shit out of each other.
He's just stealing that stuff from him, huh? That's awesome, man. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to California. I wanted to go, and then I was gonna leave. I was in Miami training.
Yep.
And
ATT?
No, but I was like in a smaller gym.
Which one?
It's called
Freestyle.
Yeah, I started there.
All right, so you know Jason Suarez, the boy.
I left. I met him before, but I had only been there for like 3 months.
Okay,
so
cool,
I was like
cool,
a white belt. I had never pro or anything like that. And then
he was on the Ultimate Fighter too.
Yeah, was he? Yeah, he was.
He was our wrestling guy.
Which one is he on?
My one. He was our coach on there.
Oh, he was
wrestling
with the Lions because he's Dominic Cruz's boy.
There you go.
Oh, the connection with the Avalons and everything.
There you go.
Oh, shit, it goes deep, man.
It does.
Damn.
Basically, anyone that's ever been at Alliance is Dom's friend or trained with Dom along the line and followed him, and then they made a big gym out of it.
That's awesome.
That was basically it.
And Eric Del Frio.
He's Dom's coach. He's still there. He's still the sensei. So yeah.
And when you fight, you said, and you have a coach from back home too, right?
Yeah. So I have the guy who taught me my first punch. There's a guy called Tony Musa. I've been with him from day one. I'm loyal as they come to him.
Wow.
You know, I've been with him for 12 years now, and me and him have got a bond like that still. We speak every other day, and you know, for me now, we've had a lot of hardships in the career. We've had a couple of losses that should have gone our way. We've had a few things go wrong, but I feel like this year I can't wait to hand him a big check and go, thank you for everything, sort of thing. And you know, that's a bigger motivator to me than for me to win the world title, honestly. And that's what I'm looking forward to this year.
And that's a dangerous combination for a fighter to have, you know, because somebody who's fighting for something more is always a little bit more dangerous, you know.
Well, I always hear that with fighters that have children and stuff. So you know, they always have another motivator, and I kind of have that as a motivator too.
Yeah, hell yeah. To be able to give back to him for all those years,
of
like
course.
putting in the work.
I mean, like putting in the work when MMA wasn't heard of, and we were training in the park. We didn't even have a gym. It'd be raining outside. You know, England's like shit weather. We'd be in the rain.
Probably trying to put the grappling together with what you can, right?
Yeah.
England, like there wasn't too many wasn't like wrestlers. You couldn't just go grab a wrestler to go train with you, or like back then.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
It's pretty funny you say that. I was really fortunate. What happened was, I was training at this gym, and this Iranian guy comes in and just absolutely throws me around the place like a little child. And he was like, couldn't even speak English, but he said, look, come with me and I'll teach you wrestling. Luckily, there was a little influx of Iranians not far from my house. They'd all come here, did not really speak English, but they were sick wrestlers, and they just took me in. So I was training with them 2-3 times a week. Yeah, just like
that's
ripping
awesome.
it with them.
Yo, that's dope.
I
man.
know, it was
Also,
lucky.
you just got to get thrown around by these guys, and
They couldn't speak English. They couldn't even communicate with me. But
and they're all strong. Yo.
I just get stuck in with them.
Yeah.
So I was
perfect.
because nobody else was looking to wrestle. Nobody enjoyed wrestling. Wrestling's like like nobody cares. You can maybe find one gym in the Northwest for wrestling. Like it's not a thing. So I was lucky in that way.
Wow, and you just fell into the fire right there.
Fell into the Iranian trap and never looked back since. And now I think I enjoy it more than I enjoy striking. I love wrestling. I really do.
I love wrestling too. And as like did you start MMA everything together? Or yeah.
Everything just one.
Yeah. So when you started training, you had an idea like, okay, MMA is like the broader spec, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did you how did you did you draw a favorite just as you went on, or did you kind of like pick one that you favored or you felt more comfortable in?
So I naturally found myself good at striking. I was knocking people out at amateur, but
nice.
I didn't really have no technique. I was just kind of winging it. I always had the heart and the will to win, sort of thing. And my coach always says, skill will beat strength and will beat both. And that stuck with me, and I had the will to win always. And then, I was winging it with that, with the striking, and then I met the Iranians. And as soon as I met the Iranians, my wrestling started. Then I started wrestling the fuck out of people. Then everyone was like, how's this guy not wrestling now?
Yeah.
Then I kind of combined it, my own kind of little style. Then I met Dom, started doing loads of movement. I kind of took a bit from everyone, really. Everyone I train with, I try and take a little bit.
Ah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so then how did you get into the Ultimate Fighter? What made you, you applied, or how does that work with the Ultimate Fighter?
So what happened was, I heard they were doing a UK team, and I heard there was 3,500 applicants for this team. So I was only 4-0 at the time. I was like, I ain't got a chance, but I'll throw my name in the hat. And then I remember throwing my name in the hat, and I never got an email back, but I knew people that did. So I emailed them again. My coach at the time, the guy that I was training with, was like, I emailed him, and then
you got the email? They emailed people back?
Yeah.
And you got the email from them?
No, I didn't get one.
Oh, but you got the email address.
So then they were like,
hell yes. Oh, nice.
Hit them up, and then they're like, yeah, oh sorry, we must have missed him.
Yo, imagine if you never did that.
I know.
Wow, that's fucking dope, man. Hell
Well, it gets crazier. So the next thing, I'm in, I get told, come down to trials. I think only like 500 got invited down, to actually do the physical trials. They were in London, so I go down there, training, and get down to like the first thing's hitting pads, and then you got Dana sat there, you got Sean Shelby, someone else, and you hit the pads, and then they all go right, go through or no. So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's
when you're hitting these, and you get a pad man that they give you, and you know how shit that can be.
Oh, it could be a UFC gym guy,
like
you know,
holding pads, and you're like,
or something that you just don't do, you know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it was one of them, and then the second one was they laid a load of mats out, and you had to roll in front of them. I was like,
who do you roll with, yo? When you do that, you
they
bring
give
a
me
guy?
some. I can't remember. No, against another applicant.
Oh,
could you imagine the pressure?
That's a crazy 2 minutes. Yo, after that 2 minute round, you're like,
I was just like, I remember just being super safe, like, don't get tapped.
Yeah,
because grappling wasn't my thing. And I'm like, just don't get tapped. And they made it, got through that bit. I'm like, shit, I'm through here. And then like it was the last 50 people that got to do an interview. Tell them about yourself, why you're here, da-da-da. Then they narrowed it down to 14 were going on and 2 reserves, so 16 total. And I got down to the last 16. And then they were like, we'll let you know within 3 weeks if you're on or not. Go away and train like you're on. Cool, training. 3 weeks, training my ass off, then I gets a call. Just so you know, you haven't made it. You're the second reserve. A second reserve's never made it onto the show. Carry on with your fights in England. And then hopefully I was only young, and I was like, kind of like, well done for getting that far, Brendan. But in my head, in my heart of hearts, I kind of knew like, that didn't feel right. I should be on this show. Like, boom.
Really?
So then I left there. And my mate had a stag do. I don't know if you know what that is. A stag do.
The
like a bachelor
party, right?
It was in Ibiza.
Stag's night.
So I go there.
Nice, Ibiza.
I'm there for a week partying. I'm back a few days. So you know how I'm feeling when I get back. And then all of a sudden, gets a call. Hey, just so you know, one of the guys has been injured. You need to fly out in the morning. 24-hour flight to Australia and fight. I was like, okay, let's go.
And you had a fight?
A fight straight away.
What weight was that at?
55.
At 55? Oh, snap. And then
So I landed, and they give me their prospect, like the Australian young guy. There's a guy called Patrick Guy. I think he was 8-0 or something at the time. And then they give me him. But I'd been on, when I say, when you go Ibiza, you really need to know what happens in Ibiza. It's just manic chaos, partying for days, minimal sleep, loads of weight excess. Like, and I've come back, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this right now. My head's not in the right place. The 24-hour flight, I was really contemplating life all the way. Like, well, you're going to get your ass kicked in front of millions of people here, you idiot. And that was what was going on in my head. And I remember the first day I got there, it was sprints. And I was like, oh, fuck. I've just got off the flight. And I remember beating everybody in the sprints. And I was like, ooh. And then they picked me straight away. Obviously, they thought, he's just come in, he's not ready.
Yeah.
And then, beat the shit out of the guy. And then went on to better things from there.
So you fought in front of like a little bit of audience, like a studio audience, in front of nobody.
The studio, yeah. I've done that 3 times now.
Yeah, how's it like? Is it different? Or is it
very different? Yeah, very, very different.
Does your cardio stay better or worse because there's no nerves, right? I wonder sometimes if the fans make it harder, like all that added.
So for the first fight I had, the English team were allowed to shout, hey, go on, Brendan. So I had a bit of noise, like 12 people shouting. The second one, I actually fought Norman Park on my own team. So everybody agreed to be quiet in the whole building.
Yeah.
So it was like literally you could hear a pin drop while we're fighting. It was the most surreal thing.
Because they didn't want to corner shoot against their boys, you know?
Nobody didn't want to get involved. Even the corners, they flipped a coin for corners.
Damn.
And it was like super weird. And the guy Norman was 23 and 2 at the time. I was 4-0. And I give him the hell. And I was not ready. Nowhere near. Skill set was terrible, but I had the will. Like the will was carrying me through on that show. So yeah, that's basically, I was thrown in the deep end at a young age. Let's just say that.
Wow. Hey, did Norman Park win that show?
He did, yeah comfortably. And Robert Whittaker.
And then there were different weight classes though, right?
Yeah.
So Norman Park won it at 55.
He won it at 70.
And Whittaker won at 70. Those are the 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
Man, how was the show? Was it like, was the house cool and shit, or like, do you go kind of crazy in there? How long were you there for?
I had the time of my life. Bearing in mind, when I got there, I'm a young kid living at his mum's house, doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
These guys have all got children, families. They're all stressing in there, work. Like, I'm in there just having, like, I'm in this $24 million mansion
it's dope.
in Australia. Dope. Tennis courts, pool tables, everything you can imagine is in there. Unlimited food, anything you write on that shopping list you get. And I'm like, what? And all I have to do is fight these guys, no problem. Like, we caused mayhem in there, though. We were having food fights. There's one time we all got drunk. They left loads of alcohol in the fridge, right? Loads every day. We come in and we're like, everyone's tempted, right? Check what we did, no joke. All 4 of us, English, got to the semi-finals. We knocked all the Aussies out early in the 155. And we're like, right, it was like a week before the fight. And we're like, right, let's all make an agreement, right? If we all drink, then it's fair. So we're like, that's a pretty fair agreement. Yeah. So we all just got smashed. But then, like, some people started getting really rowdy. Like 24 guys in a house. So then, like, all the camera staff left because they were scared.
Really?
Everybody left the house. And it was mayhem. The place got destroyed. So yeah, there was some fun memories on there.
Do you still talk to a lot
pretty
of
much
guys
everybody?
From
yeah,
everybody. You guys talked. Was there social media back then? Yeah, right. Or like, was there Instagram and shit?
It was just coming in.
It was just coming out.
Like,
I just opened one.
Yeah.
So what was it like being away from your phone? Because right now, I bet you now it's probably a lot different. When those guys...
obviously you didn't watch the show if you're asking me that.
No,
we got in a. Do you know what happened?
No, I don't know.
We got in a lot of shit because we snuck a phone in.
Oh no!
Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't know that.
So we fucking.
Oh shit!
This is the English mentality. We're all stupid, right? So. The next door neighbour, we was conversating over the wall one day. So one of the guys, this is a true story, bro. You can see it on the episode. We're like,
I gotta check that out.
We're like, if you throw us a phone, we'll throw you a load of gear over. Meet us there at 9 o'clock. We're like, okay. So one of the guys goes and meets her, gets a phone, throws the bag over, like a proper exchange in the middle of the night. And then he comes in, he's like, I've got the phone. I'm like, shit, but we got microphones on. There's cameras on. So I know. So he's like, right, we're gonna use it at the back of the thing later on. I'm like, okay, cool. Back of the tennis courts. He says, meet us out there. Take your mic off. Okay, so we took the mic off, mate. I remember ringing my mum. I'm like, yeah, just I've been away for like 6 weeks now. No one knows what's happening. And you start because you have no phones, you have no media, no telephone, no newspapers. You don't know anything what's going on.
That's true.
And you're like, whoa, I wonder what's going on in the outside world. So then. Like, I called my mum, I'm like, yeah, just so you know, I was like, I'm going to be quick, but yeah, I'm in the semi-finals, I'm okay. Yeah, I hope everything's good. Yeah, everything's good, Brendan, bam, down. That was all I used it. Next thing, these guys who I was on the team with was sat in bed with it, like, on the pillow, like, talking like this. I'm like, bro, let the phone go. So, anyway, they wouldn't.
Did the cameraman obviously told
the cameraman came in at 6 a.m. one day, woke us up, he's like, this is off camera, but they've seen the phone, just give it me and I'll get rid of it for you. So I look at the guy, I'm like, give him the phone. He's like, what phone? I'm like, give him the phone. What phone? Anyway, we go training that day. They come and swipe the phone while we're at training, and then they go, my guy comes on, he's like, bro, have you got that phone? We're like, no. So he's like, emergency meeting now with Dana White, and we're like, oh fuck. So we all stand in front of Dana White in this episode, and he's like, right, step forward if you use the phone. And we're all just stood there, nobody moves. We're all just looking at him, and he's like, I've got the phone here, I've got the messages, I know every single person that's used it, you better step forward. And I'm like, oh my god. So we all stepped forward, and it was just like, I thought I was going home. I thought, how have I just ruined this opportunity? But because we all used it, he couldn't send the whole team.
Lads.
So it was like,
we're all in this boat together.
We
this
all
bitch
pitched in, and
sinks.
we're like, we all did it.
Pinch the hole, sink the boat, motherfucker.
So that's
hell yeah.
So that was some funny shit that happened on there.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yo, that season, I think I was already living here. Right? What year was that season at?
Till Smashes 2011.
2011. Oh wow, man. And then afterwards, and then you fought on the main event, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this. Hey, you rematch. You fucking got it back, bro.
So that was another crazy experience for me because I actually shared a bunk bed with that guy. And that guy was my best friend in the house. We're from the same area. We kind of knew each other before the house, and we become really close. Like, shared deep secrets of each other. We become like boys. And as soon as the show was over, we were together a lot, going out, partying, just friends, training. And then one day I just got a call of him in the morning. He's like, fucking hell. He said, I'm on the finale. I said, yeah. I said, who have you got? And he was like, you. I'm like, oh, fuck, really?
Out of all the people, they probably did that shit on purpose.
And I was like, shit. I said, I guess I'll see you in 3 months. He's like, yeah, see you there, bro. Let's have it. Boom. Turned up and just beat the shit out of each other. It's one of my favourite fights. It was great.
and then how about the rematch?
So then we fought. It was a very close decision, but it was a great fight. We're just back and forth, slugging. Beat the shit out of each other. Like, that was the most damaged I've ever been after the fight. We were damaged. It's the hardest punch I've ever felt in my whole life. And then he was in the UFC for a few years, made some waves, got some fight of the nights and stuff, and you know, did well. And then I always had it in the back of my head. I was like, fuck. And then ACB came around. I'd already had one fight for ACB, and then they said, we're coming to Manchester, and he'd just been released, and they're like, yo, will you rematch him? I'm like, I'd love to, but I don't know if you will. Like, I ain't looking to give that win up, like, if I was him, because it was Razor last time, and I'd got a lot better in that time, in that 3 years, 4 years.
Oh, that was when you were just like 5-4.
I was flying then now, and then yeah, we rematched, and it was over in a minute. Yeah, head kicked him. And it was sad though, because I did it, and then I remember turning to celebrate, and then looking back, and I seen how hurt he was. He was really hurt, and I was like, shit. Went and picked him up, and then I went in the back, and we're both getting looked at by the doctors. And I remember, like, he kept going, like, where am I? Like, what just happened? And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Is it 10-second Tom?
And we're both just sat looking at each other, like, and then it was kind of like a moment of, I've kind of gone there now, and you're like on the decline. But I always have mad love and mad respect for him still.
So he beats you in a Raber close decision, has a UFC career.
Yeah.
And then you get him when he gets on the way down, after the UFC, you know, and then you get to beat the UFC vet.
What a cruel sport, bro.
And you got it back, and you kind
of got it back in my hometown.
You were kind of like undefeated then, right? Because like you hadn't how many?
I was on a
was that your first? Was that you avenged your first
after
loss?
Mike? I was on a 5 or 6 fight win streak, and then I rematched him.
So you were like basically kind of like undefeated again after.
Yeah. So
well, I don't know. You stop him. It's a close one. Then you stop him, and you kind of like take that.
Yeah.
One, you know?
Yeah.
Man, what weight did you? You fought Pat Healy. What weight was that at?
Oh my god, that was a whole other story. So he was coming over to the UK. They couldn't get a 55er to fight him, but I was at 45. I was comfortable at 45.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you know, will you fight Pat Healy? It was like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, why? I could not get a fight. And when I say I couldn't get a fight, I could not get a fight because I was on the cusp of UFC. I wasn't quite in the UFC. I didn't want to sign with Bellator. I didn't want to sign with a major organisation. So the smaller ones wasn't going to take me, like, because they all wanted multi-fight contracts. And I was like, but ACB said, we'll give you a 1 fight against Healy if you want. I'm like, fuck it.
It's probably good money always.
Yeah, great money always, but another very close fight.
You fought him at 55 then?
Yeah, fucking hell. We're talking about a guy here that give Khabib hell.
Yeah,
he gave Khabib hell. He beat Daly. He beat Dan Hardy. Beat he had names. Man. Beat Jim Miller. Something like.
He's got a lot of fights, man. He's got like 50 something, like a lot. Some crazy record, you know.
And I remember just beating the shit out of him, but this guy was so tough. He just walked through it. But that's when I was actually training with Masvidal, and he'd fought him, and he was like, bro, that guy's a tough motherfucker. Like, you're in for a... Masvidal couldn't knock him out. He told you that?
Yeah. He's like, oh shit.
He's like, I fought him and his brother. He said.
That was on short notice.
That's what he said. So yeah, that was another great fight. And then ever since Healy, 6 fights or 5 fights.
Been on fire.
Yeah, I've been on fire again.
You've been on a run,
I'm on like a little.
That's beautiful, man. And then, so do you have a manager or how does that work?
Yeah, so I've just I had the Contender fight. I'd not had a manager my whole career. And after that, I knew I needed one because offers were flying in. And I didn't want to deal with them.
You got to the Contenders on your own too?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's
well,
dope.
with Dominic Cruz, he kind of put the word in and said, look, get my guy on there. I got on there. I got a really tough fight on there. They gave me a really tough opponent. Number 1 guy on the East Coast, a guy called Bill Algeo. And then, I had a great fight with him. I didn't get the... No, I don't know if you've seen all that. Did you see what happened? The takedown. This whole crazy scenario went down.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
get in there, bro. Like, let's dive in.
So what? You got a high fight IQ, and you get punished for having a high fight IQ?
It's a double-edged sword.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, the fight was clearly won. In my eyes, here's what was going through my head in that fight. I was beating the shit out of this guy, and I was taking him down,
seal the deal,
punching, kicking, takedown. After 37 right hands on the chin, I realised I ain't knocking you out. So, like, I thought, you guys think English can't wrestle? This guy's a D1 wrestler. I thought, I'll show you wrestling. I was wrestling the shit out of him. Kind of thought, I'll show a different aspect. I was doing it for that. I could have easily stood in the pocket, like I'd been doing for 4 minutes and 50 seconds. 40 minutes and 50 seconds. I could have easily, but last 10 seconds, I thought, why not?
Why? Yeah, but what's like? I don't know, man. This just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, you know. But got you on Ariel Helwani, yo.
Went on there twice that
man.
week.
Jesus, you know. But yeah. What do you take on that? It's just like on to the next one, right? Like
nah, not at all. It took a lot to come back from that. That was a low point. That was a point where it was a reconsideration moment of what am I doing now? I've worked 7 years to get back here, and I got back there, and then to get to first of all get a tough opponent, you're like, oh shit, it's going to be a tough fight. This guy had been to Alliance and they were telling me how good he was, and like, shit, this is a tough fight. boom, and then I did really well in the fight. Did everything I planned to do in the fight. Had all the celebrities from England, Tyson Fury, all the Manchester United team. Everyone's sending out good luck messages. It was like a big thing in England. Brendan's back, and it was in my head. This was set. I was doing it. I knew I was going to beat this guy, and I'm good at this. Is where my life's going. This is where my path's going. So it's like flipped on its head. I was like, shit, what do I do now? This didn't go to plan. And you know when you really set in your head that it's going that way, and it just doesn't. It's a proper moment where I'm like, nah, I'm done with this shit. And not only that, $5 like after being in the sport 10 years at that time, like I'm like,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
contender.
Now it's like, what am I doing? And not only that, I'd broke my nose again. I was pissing blood. And I was like, shit, I'm getting too old for this. Like, what the fuck, for this sort of money? Like, I ain't involved in this no more. Like, this is like major violence and major sacrifice of our health.
Yeah,
I want to get paid for it now. And luckily the offers flew in after that fight. Everyone was like, what the fuck just happened there? This kid's fucking... Everyone looked at the resume and was like, 1FC, give me a good offer. Obviously PFL, Bellator, KSW, I had a few good ones, and at that point I was like, shit, I need a manager right now.
Wow, that's fucking awesome. Oh man, hell yeah. So it works out, man. It all washes out eventually, you know.
PFL and won a couple of, I had them offers before this contender, but I was like, nah, I want to be in the UFC. That's what I wanted. So I waited out. I said to them, no, I'm going to do this fight. They've obviously watched the fight and they're thinking, yes, we'll get him. And then I was like, fuck. So I knew I didn't want him to get me cheap, because me dealing with a promoter direct is very different than a manager dealing with a promoter.
Yeah, man.
Like, you could easily hook, line and sinker me in, but these guys know your worth. They know what you bring to the table. I had Ali Aziz I was talking to Paradigm, I was talking to Malky and Abe Kagawa, and in the end they brought the best deal and I signed with them, and I'm very happy.
Wait, first round?
Yeah, first round.
Oh, that's dope. They're from, I think based out of Miami, right?
Correct.
Hell yeah.
So I've been with them now like since the contender. They got me 2 good fights on PFL, they got me good money, got me a signing bonus. Like,
yo, they're the real deal, man.
Yeah, the
John
real
Jones
deal
too, right?
John Jones, Masvidal, Romero.
Yeah.
Got some Dominic Cruz.
And ever since Masvidal signed with him, he's kind of been like on this like resurrection, you know?
He's
the resurrection, yo. Laying everybody. Oh, fuck, man. So then you get to the PFL, man, and like you're here, man. Like, it's the contender. You've seen it all.
Well, what's crazy is like, I remember going the first ever trip to Vegas. I was very young, 18. I remember going to a Floyd Mayweather and Cotto fight, and I was at the Mandalay Bay, and I was like, shit, I would love to fight in here one day. It was a dream. And then fuck, PFL go, do you want to fight in the Mandalay Bay? I was like, that vision actually came true.
On
like,
ESPN.
I set it that day in intention, no joke. I was like, it's gonna happen. And all them years it didn't, fighting all over the world and apart from America, and that's the only place I wanted to fight. And then they were like, boom, and then they offered me 7 fights in a year. They offered me 7 fights in a year, obviously the chance to win $1 million. They've got all the top arenas, Mandalay Bay, Madison Square Garden, all the top arenas in the US. And they're like, I'm like, it's on ESPN, same channel as the UFC, and they're going to really get behind me with marketing, which they have. And it was a no-brainer for me at that point.
If they're going to be on ESPN, that means my dad's going to see it. Everybody's going to see it, you know?
Well, when PFL first came to sign me, I didn't believe in the products. They told me, we're giving out $1 million. I was like, yeah, I've heard this before.
Yeah,
a couple have come along with that.
There's been a few times, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever gotten paid from these?
You know what I'm saying?
There's been a few, dog.
So I was like, yeah. But then I was in America for that whole year, and I was watching it, PFL, and everyone was gathering around watching it. It was big out there, and I was like, oh shit, this is legit, this
really?
show. Tyson was involved, Couture, they got all like top commentators, everything. I'm like, the product looked good, and I was a bit like, shit, why didn't I sign for him? And then it came back around.
Did you gotta wear a uniform, yo? Did you have to wear the uniform?
Yeah, but you can have your own sponsors.
And you put your sponsors on top of the uniform?
Oh. Nice.
And how about the colors? How did the colors work? Like,
so every weight class has a color. So we're green.
Yeah, okay. So who do you got? Is there a champion in your weight class right now?
Yeah. So it's stacked this year. This year there's a lot of wrestlers in there. You got Bubba Jenkins.
Oh, nice.
You've got
Lance
Palmer, who's 10-0 in there now, undefeated, $2 million. Insane. I know. He won it both seasons.
He's cashed 2 checks.
Yeah. But he's getting paid per fight as well. That's another thing. You get great purses all the way along. So it's not like, yeah.
Oh, because sometimes they get you, they'll be like $1 million grand total, but it'll be like, you know, like
fuck that, I'm not doing that.
Bullshit,
you know what I mean? That's just like
they'll be like, if you win every fight,
Nah.
it'll be like added up to $1 million. You know, that's how they do.
No. It's just like
yeah.
pay, and then icing on the cake if you get the mill.
Are you gonna get one of those big? Do they give you one of those big checks?
Can't wait to post.
And they bring it out. And, it's all about the big check.
I can't wait for the big check and the big belt.
Yeah, like we talked about. Hey, there's only a few motivations to fight. Hey, a big check is gonna be probably number one.
Big check, big belt, and watch all the holes pop up on Instagram. I can't wait to see them all.
And it'll be a good time, man. You've done some partying in Vegas. What's your favorite place to party, yo? All this fucking serious fighting talk. Let's get to the real shit.
All right.
Let's get to the real shit.
Listen. I've been everywhere. I've probably been, no joke, 15 times because I was living in San Diego. It was a couple of hours drive, and whenever my boys would fly over for the weekend, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm on the motorway." I would go meet them, and I love all the pool parties, especially like rehab, the rehab pool party, like Encore Beach, all them ones like XS, Trist. So many good places to party, but it's like when you get there, it's like Disneyland for adults, isn't it? And you're just so happy to be there.
I've never been.
What?
Never been.
And you're an American.
I never been to the West Coast, yo. I've never really traveled. I've only traveled to Asia and shit. I gotta get out. Hopefully this Corona don't take us out.
You been to Vegas?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Never been west of Chicago.
I'm sat with two Americans. The English guy's the one that's been there the most.
You know, Bob, you've been to the West. I never been to California, yo.
Whoa.
You have to smoke legal marijuana on the street.
Legal marijuana.
Shit?
Too strong though. Puts me straight out. Gone.
Yeah.
So, it's very strong out there. Cali's a sick place. It's very expensive, but a sick place to live.
Very expensive. You gotta make some bread, right? Like all the good places, you gotta make some bread.
Of course, LA is just ridiculous. I was training at Wildcard. I used to go sparring Freddie Roach's guys.
Yeah, get some boxing in and stuff like that.
For them last two camps, I've got a pretty funny story about there as well. So I go in there one day, Freddie Roach in there. You know what it's like when you see someone that you've seen on TV a lot. And I'm hitting the bag. He comes over. He's like, "Oh, I had like MMA shorts on, like with sponsors and stuff." He's like, "Oh, you do MMA?" Yeah. So he said, I said, "Look, I'd been going for about a month at this stage," and I was like, "Can I get some sparring?" And he's like, yeah. He's like, "I got some sparring for you." He goes, but Pico was there was other guys there, a couple of English boxers. Fury was there, he was about to fight, so there was people going in and out that I knew anyway, so I kind of seen me with them. I kind of got in like that.
I seen you cutting about with some of the boys. So you knew he wasn't just some regular, some dude.
So he goes, "Come back on Wednesday, 10 in the morning." So like, okay, and I had a few friends in LA that I was living with at the time. We used to drive up there, back to San Diego. I was going back and forward, and then I was like, "This is my boys." I was living. I was like, "Yeah, come with me. I'm gonna go wildcard sparring." And they were like, "Nah." No one even came with me. I'm like, "Fuck." Walk in this gym. Freddie Roach is there, set up, ready for this spar with his other guy, right hand man, a guy called Batman. So they're there. They've got this Puerto Rican guy, and I'm like, "Fuck." I walk in. I'm like wrapping up, and I'm looking at this guy. The guy's serious, like, and I'm like, "What have I talked myself into here?" So I said to him, I'm like, "Just so you know, bro, like I do MMA, like I'm not a boxer." The guy didn't even acknowledge what I was saying. He just carried on like, "Yeah, whatever, bro." So then like a serial killer. Yeah, like ready. He's just looking at meat really. Yeah. Meat that gets thrown in.
I got a theory on
So we just start fighting, and first round goes okay. I'm like, wasn't that bad. I'm still here. Second round, okay. By the fifth round, put it this way, he was the one backing off, and I couldn't believe it. Because as MMA fighters, we've got like a weird range and distancing thing that I was underhooking a lot and just doing stupid shit just to like. But by the end, I seen him, and then I started going forward. I remember that day. That's when I got Freddie. I've got him on WhatsApp now and everything. We talk, and I was like, and he was like, "Fucking hell." He's like, "I've had a lot of MMA guys come through here, and usually just get their ass kicked. Well done, mate." Like, I've been going back ever since. Built a rapport with him now. I know.
Hey, so you go with the boxing shoes?
No. I had nothing. I didn't even have the thing. They had to give me everything.
Yeah, but would you guys wear like some sneakers and shit?
I just had running training. Serious, bro.
Headgear, you had to wear headgear.
Yeah, they give me a headgear.
Yeah. Hey, striking gyms, they go hard, right? You ever notice this with striking gyms? It's not like a grappling like MMA gym. I noticed like boxers spar hard, right? Like they spar pretty hard over there in Wildcard, I assume.
This was pretty hard, but I mean. There's a lot that goes on that I haven't seen there as well. There's two gyms. There's one upstairs, one downstairs.
Oh, okay.
So Pacquiao and all them, when they're there, they get private training. I don't know how them spars go, but speaking to a few of the older guys in there, like Amir Khan's there as well, they were saying that it goes hard downstairs as well when it gets going. But a lot of the as you can imagine, the high-level fighters, a lot of the spars are behind closed doors. Yeah. Nobody ain't seeing that shit, so
it's true.
Nobody really knows how hard anyone's going in there.
And with boxers, which MMA is not really. You think I don't know if we'll ever get there because we're more like we're always training with each other, right? Like we have that camaraderie team style a lot with MMA, but in boxers a lot of times they just have them in their trainer and they'll pay guys to spar and they'll just pay so they can really not have to hold back, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's a totally different culture, isn't it?
It's weird, right? I think it's a striking culture, yo. Same thing with like Muay Thai, not so much, but kickboxers. I heard they're pretty.
Yeah, they get around.
Pretty mean, yo. Like they like to go hard, you know, like.
I mean, yeah, it depends. It depends. I mean, a lot of it is down to the person. Yeah. I've sparred a lot of high-level strikers that I've take it very. Masvidal, I remember when I first sparred him. Okay. He came in the gym, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knew who he was, obviously. And he first got to Alliance, and like he walks in, and I'll never forget. Everyone got partners real quick, and it was Masvidal. And I was late putting my gloves on. I was like, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh shit. So like I'm stood in front of him, we're about to spar, and I'm thinking, if he wants, he can knock me the fuck out right now. Probably took it so easy. We got a great work.
Yeah.
And I thought, thank you, man, because like I'm a lot smaller, but if he wanted to, and that's the thing, you don't know when you touch someone's glove, you don't know that, but they might take. It's either a liberty or you're gonna get some good work in. And the liberty takers, I'm not into him at all. Like I've seen in a lot of gyms in the past, guys go hard until they meet someone good, and they tone down and they want to touch spar. And then they just beat up beginners. That's not my shit at all. I hate that shit. Like it really infuriates me. Like guys that know how to level up when it's a beginner, but then you know what I mean. I'm like, nah. Then I don't mind the guys like Stevens, who's just gonna swing with you, and he's gonna swing with a beginner, and he's gonna swing with. No matter who you are, you're getting it. I respect that. You know what you're gonna get, but the guys that want to pick and choose the battles inspiring.
I got you.
Pisses me off.
Like the swingers, like like if the guy who goes hard, but he goes hard on everybody, is not no thing. But like when a guy's trying to come down with you, when you see him like tuning somebody up, like low kicking him out, like I'm walking off KOs and shit.
And also, bro, here's how I look at it. Like I'm at the level in my thing now where I'm 12 years deep in this sport. I got no ego. I'm not here to prove nothing with anyone. Yeah. I'm here to get to this fight. I want to get paid. Like, I'm not looking to lose my brain in the gym.
We don't get paid to sport. We don't get paid to fight in the gym, right?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Like,
you have to leave the ego at the door, and a lot of these fighters don't. And that's why you have short careers, and that's why I've been blessed with a long career, because I don't let it get in the way. Every now and then I'll take the risk. I'll go wild card, and I'll be like, right, shit, I'm in the fire. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not going to do it on a day-to-day basis, so your brain will be scrambled eggs.
Yeah, you got your times, right? Like if you're in a camp, you got a big fight coming up, you got a main event or something big, you might want to get some of those hard spars just to know it's in you, but you're not going to be, you don't want to be redlining it 3-4 times a week. You're not going to make it, It'd be impossible. Like 4 or 5 years. You're going to get chinny in a couple years, I'm sure you've been around the game a long time, so you've seen guys already like go through those levels, You've seen the slurs change already, and some of the homies that are like in the generation before you, from fighters and stuff.
I feel like fighting's one of them things when you stop fighting, you kind of lose contact with them people.
It's weird, right? You go into the waves.
They go into family mode.
Yeah.
And you don't really see them too often, so you don't know how they're dealing with it. I'm going to admit to you, I'm scared. I was actually reading something before about Rich Franklin. Yeah. Where'd you bringing this up? And he was like, the hardest thing he ever had to do in his life was adjust to not fighting. And to come from a pro athlete, the guy around town, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, and then you're just a normal guy, a regular citizen again. That's a hard drop.
Yo, I went so last year, so I'm in like a wave right now, so like my last fight was in just the beginning of 2019. I was in 1FC. I fought in Bangkok with all the boys, and I was like, yo, fighting is crazy, man. It's a lot of damage, a lot, it's it's a lot can happen in those 15 minutes. It's crazy when I see people who like take it like as a joke. It's like, yo, you can go in there and come out never the same, and like I had I was in that same boat, man. I had a fucking hard ass fight, and I remember getting home, you get half your check. And I remember they fucking they cut me for some flights from another fight or something. I remember when I got my money this is like my last fight, right? God. I get my money and my eyes fucked up, and then the numbers fucked up, right? And they like took some money out from a flight that nobody told me about, And I'm like, oh, that's off. And then I was like, it's either an 8 or a 3. I was like, if it's a 3, it's right. If it's an 8, it's wrong. And it wasn't. And then I just signed it, and then I fuck off. And I'm all concussed and fucked up. And then like 3 days later, when the direct deposit comes in, you're like, they just get you again. They get you for everything they can, dog. You just feel, your body's fucked up. And I remember my eye was, and I was just like, yo, gotta get compensated for this shit,
what
bro.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I've had a few what am I doing moments. The biggest one was the contender, though, because this guy was about to go in the UFC, but they thought, we'll just throw him on the contender first with Brendan. And watching this guy's dreams crushed, I knew I'd beat him. I knew that maybe I might get on here, and I watched this guy, and I remember seeing he was bust up. I was bust up. He was on crutches, and then we were talking. This was before the decision came off Dana, and he was like, I seen how down he was, and I was like, shit, I'm up right now. I've just got the 2 checks. I'm up, but you know, this guy, this was what he worked for his whole life to get to this stage, and he's going home. And then ultimately, I ended up not getting it as well. But at the time, I was like, shit, this sport is harsh.
You're pissing blood,
nose gone. Looking in the mirror like, yo, this is
that's two from. I see you got a nice.
Oh, bro, this is fucking.
That's just the grind.
Plenty of times.
17 as the 10 years. Of
plenty of times. But luckily, this so far, touch wood, I've never been knocked out. I've never been stopped. Never been submitted. It's all been decisions. So far so good, and I'm going for the big one this year, the Hall.
This is the time, man. And yo, looking up on your research and stuff like that, man. Yo, all your losses very razor close. You know, it's top of the heap. You know, one out of the week, bro. You know, sky's the limit, man. Only 20. Just turned 30 this year, so you're about to hit your physical prime, yo.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I feel like 30, and like I've had tough fights. Well, like I say, I've not been knocked out yet and all this and all, but like I've stayed away from the hard sparring, and I'm really keen on yoga, and I'm keen on looking after my body. I'd look after my body even out of camp all the time. I'm always training. I'm always looking for ways to, you know, improve my health and things like that. And I just feel like this is our engine. This is where we make our money. This is our prized possession. And I try and look after it as best as I can. Sometimes I get carried away with the training and stuff, but I mean, I think that's the key, is consistency and being around. Like, if you're around, you're in the mix.
You gotta be around.
If you're around and you're training, you're in the mix. And I just feel like all these years now, 12 years of hard work, I've not had my just yet, and I feel like this is it. I feel like that Dana White thing and everything was all happening for a reason. At the time, I couldn't see it. I didn't want to fight again. I was like, nah, fuck. And it was literally, there's a famous footballer in Manchester called Jesse Lingard, plays for Manchester United. I grew up with him and his family, and they kind of seen me after the fight.
Really?
I was like, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm leaving it now. And they was pissed. He was like, come around somewhere, we need to talk. He's like, listen, what do you need? What? Because they're rich now. I mean, he's doing well. What do you need right now to keep this shit going? Because you ain't giving up because of this guy. And I'm like, I'm not giving up because of this guy. I'm giving up because I'm not earning nothing at all. Well, you don't, do you? And I'm like,
you don't until you do, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, how many people you know can make a living out of MMA and actually be comfortable? And then PFL came along and like, we'll give you this, and it was like, I'd have been stupid to turn it down. I was 29 at the time. I'd just come off a great fight. I was in my prime. And it was like, if I stop now because of this one decision, what a bitch you are.
No
way, pick your bag up and let's go. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at now.
Man, hell yeah, bro. And and you said like you're big on the recovery and everything, huh? Like yoga and stuff like that. It's been a game changer. It's something they probably don't do maybe in the beginning of our careers when you're young, starting out. You think you can do it forever, you know, and then one day you realize your body just don't work the same.
Well, it's weird because my coach I was telling you about before is a yoga instructor. So
yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, so was my coach that I started out with.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. So he's been instilling in me from young, but I never listened. Until I had to listen, and my body was like, waking up to cracks. And the next thought, I was like, oh shit. And then my last, I'd probably say 4 years, I've took it very serious. My last camp, I did it 4 times a week. I stretch every single night now. I've set myself a goal for an hour every night. I hate it though. Nice. I'm watching TV, I don't want to do it, but I know how important it is. If I don't do it, I'm going to wake up stiff, and that's how I can get my head kicks up now. And it's really improved my technique. It's improved the blood flow in my body, my mind, and a massive, you know, anybody that's coming up in MMA now, I'd say, do not neglect your stretching.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, we always, like, I got into this thing the last few episodes, man. I was going to say, just to close the show, man, Dale, thank you so much for your time, bro. Did Epstein kill himself?
Oh, you don't smoke loads of weed, do you? You don't look in the mirror smoking weed and count to free, do you?
Hey, I mean...
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
I've smoked a lot of weed, dog. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
I'm open-minded, bro. He definitely... well, if you're asking me, this motherfucker did not kill himself.
Right. How can a guy be on 24-hour watch, suicide watch? Someone's literally watching him and then kills himself in a cell. Make your own mind up from that, really.
Yeah.
And this special island that he had that everyone was visiting.
In the same place where they were holding El Chapo. In the same city.
Place they were holding El Chapo.
Where's that then? That must be some high-tech security shit.
Fucking hung himself.
El Chapo, the notorious fucking tunnel digger. That's got to be.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with everything about it. Now the corona has totally taken that over, which sucks.
5G,
man.
you want all that one?
Yeah, I'm looking.
What do you think of 5G?
That one, I don't know, because that guy, I was listening to Joe Rogan, he made a good comment. He was like, somebody said, yo, all these 5G, everybody's complaining about the 5G, but in all these countries, it's only in 4 or 5 countries. And I was like, oh fuck, maybe that's true. I was like, damn.
What do you think of depopulation, maybe?
I think that this is where I think the control, yo. Now I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if they're like super happy, like, yo. Oh man, I don't know, yo. Like, it just like, all right. So it was in China, right? Yep. Like I've been in Thailand the whole time, yo. It kind of like just jumped over Asia. Went to Europe.
Did it get to Europe so quick?
And then went to like Iran, killed a bunch of generals, then went over to Europe, got into the prime minister's blood system one time, and now it's in America's raiding habit. Just like, it's crazy.
You think it's a bit of Chinese biological warfare?
I have no idea, man. Like, I don't, just like, my ears are open. I'm just looking at that. I don't like the police state shit that's going on, you know? This, like the military. It's just, it's scary, man.
Do you know
like,
what? We all thought we had freedom, right? And they all went, everybody get in your house now, shut the door, and everyone did it. And then they said, right, you're not coming out. Don't even walk to the shop. If someone would have said at the start of 2020, you're all going to get sent to your house, everyone like, we would never do it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing it. And everybody's cussing everybody that leaves the house.
And if
you're leaving the house. No.
If you don't, dog, like, yo, we're out here. I'm trying to get you I get a little training session. I'm like feeling guilty, like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? I'm not trying to like be a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's like at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
What are we gonna do, man? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, you're gonna, what if we just? Because the world's got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? We can't live like this.
It's not though, is it?
How about the fucking doctor? He said we might never touch hands again, dog. What if he said forget about shaking hands? That might be over as
well. Now that we're on this subject, I'm really concerned about my fight career now, and I'm talking about this $1 million right now to you. But who knows what effect this is going to have on global MMA? We've already talked about Dana trying to get it done, couldn't get it done. If Dana can't get it done, who's getting it done? Like, this is what I'm worried about.
With the online universities, like, I'm worried about the world economy, right? Like, people are like, I know, like, yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what it's because it goes far beyond anything MMA. We're just people at the end of the day, dog. Like, yeah, we fight, but if we absolutely need to, we can go fucking work in a restaurant. You know, we can do some labor.
Of course.
And like, but the whole, it's not, so it's like, yo, the state of MMA might not even exist. What if, yo, that's crazy. What if you're right? Like, yo, coaching, everything. Like, what if we all have to like just...
Nobody really knows like the extent of it now. Everybody's kind of guessing, and PFL's a brand new organization, and don't forget they're passing out $1 million to everybody. So like, that's a big bill at the end of the year. So let's hope that Bellator get through it. Let's hope UFC get through it. Let's hope PFL get through it.
I hope the shows make it through it so that the fighters, we can get back. And honestly, man, like, that's gonna be a great. If you can't do like big football games or soccer games and stuff like that, at least you can do fighting in a closed arena.
Well,
you know?
I mean,
so hopefully that keeps us alive. Dog,
one thing that I'm blessed for, and I'm really, really blessed for, is that in my country right now, you're allowed to go out for exercise once a day, and they're even stopping that now, right? So if I was in the UK now, realistically, for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to be stuck in my house, right? And I think, what if PFL go, right, we're open again, and I've been in my house the whole time. Luckily, I'm here. I've got training partners around me. I can move around freely. I want to be straight out the gates when PFL ring you and go, right, so I'm like, yeah, my weight's down, I'm good, I'm ready, let's fight. Whereas some of these countries, you ain't got the choice. Like, what could I physically do in my house?
Yeah.
So, like, let's see.
It's true, man. The fact that we have the ability to, we better be, you know, because like some people don't even afford that opportunity right now. So we just have to be super grateful.
I'm happy to come to your house on my motorbike.
My man.
Go back to my house now. Have a chill. Like, how can that be in the 2020? How can that be like a good thing to do? Like, you're not allowed to leave your house. How can that be like a blessing to get on your motorbike like, and leave the house?
Oh, when you guys were you guys were wrestling yesterday. That's why I just came by. I was like, and then I just went for a walk when you guys were wrestling. I was like, oh, it's nice out here. You guys need to do something.
How much does it make you appreciate it?
Just driving around my house.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. Well, when it gets back to normal, man, I wonder how the world's gonna be, yo. You think we're all gonna be like?
It's gonna change forever.
We think we'll be better. We think we'll be better. We're gonna have like give a fuck less and like.
It's gonna have a massive impact on a lot of people. I think one thing is everybody's staying at home now, spending a lot of time with the family, and like that's one benefit that's coming out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of creators and people that think a lot and have ideas. They're having crazy ideas now because they're not in the hustle and bustle 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're at home creating shit now, like online stuff's coming up. Like, there's other markets that are going to boom massively, and people might start thinking, hang on a minute, I just spent 8 weeks with my daughter watching her grow up. I love it. I don't want to leave the house anymore. I want to watch her grow up, and instead of seeing her for 5 minutes before bed every day.
I think this is making everybody rethink working
big time.
and general.
Big time.
Do we really need to go to all these big spaces where all these people are? And it depends on what your job is, but you go there. Let's say you got a lot of people there. Do you really need to do everything there? Can't you just do it at home? And can't we cut certain hours? Can we do this and that? But I think everyone's just kind of now starting to realize this around the same time. We don't need all these big things. Everyone can do stuff at home.
Yo, how much time do people spend fucking commuting, doing shit they don't like just to get paid? You know, like how much, bro? They go like, I'm sure it's probably like that too, like in London, everything like that, big cities. And
we're very blessed. I mean, I've took this as my career from young. I had little jobs to keep it going, like on the security and stuff. But so far, this has been my life, to wake up every morning happy as fuck, train twice a day. Yeah, some fights haven't gone my way, some fights have gone my way, but the journey's been amazing. I've made enough money to be out here talking to you. Like, I'm happy right now. Like, I'm living the dream, as they say. I'm living my passion. I get to get up every morning and be happy, but 90% of the world don't. And that's the reality of it. And I think now that we're having some time to reassess that, a lot's going to change.
Yeah, how grateful are we that, like, everybody's in quarantine, but, like, we're at the house a lot, but as a fighter, you might be at the house already a little bit. You go to train, you come
Bro,
back
this is
home,
my life. Like, my life got better since quarantine. Like, I'm like, wow, I ain't got enough hours in the day right now. I'm busy. Like, literally, like, morning to night, I'm busy. Like, people saying, call back. Oh, I'm too tired. Like, I'm busy. Like, what? You should be in the house. I'm like, nah, I'm not over here, bro. Like, I'm busy. I'm moving.
Yeah. You know what's been good about quarantine, man? I've been connecting with a lot of people.
Me too.
Yo. I've been talking to people for like 30 minutes. Sometimes I don't talk to somebody for like, I've talked to people I haven't talked to in 6 months. We sat down on FaceTime.
Me too.
I just fucking light a joint, make a coffee, whatever, and we shoot the shit. 20 minutes go by, take a piss, come back, we're still there. And it's like, it was so nice.
Connecting
caught
old
up
friends.
Everything. Connect, bro. It's like, it's a bad thing. We're connected by being disconnected. It's crazy, you know? We're staying connected, dog, you know? I
mean, I hope that they test athletes for this shit too when it comes back to normal. Like, you want to be tested for this virus, because it's the last thing you want to pass, isn't it?
Oh, so what if Dana White has that's the thing, yo. Imagine Dana White does the Fight Island and somebody gets that shit on Fight Island. They better keep that shit under wraps.
There's a whole new nobody, yo. It's changing fighting forever, this.
Yo, how about this, bro? What about like living, man? Like, they might use this virus. Like, what if they have to get a vaccine and like you have to get a chip and then like, yo, you can't, your whole life you have to be like worried, scared you're gonna get sick. Yo, what if we live in this world where like you're scared to get sick? Yo, in China, if you have a fever, you could just have a regular fever, and you would leave the house or something, they grab you and they send you to the hospital, yo. That's how people were getting quarantined in China when this shit was like
fucking
shit.
Bro, you know what I'm thinking?
You're scared to get sick, yo. Fighters were sick all the time, and we train sick.
I'm thinking like, bro, if I go to 7-Eleven after a wrestling session and walk in there and they put the gun on me and it says 39, like, yo, am I getting locked up? Like, am I getting like handcuffed and tucked to the thing and never seen again? Like, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yo, me and Frank went to go the other day. Went somewhere. We had to class circle, and they were checking temperatures. I was so scared. I got my fucking helmet on. I'm sweating bullets, dog. You know? I was like, I don't know if I want to hit that circle, dog.
Yeah, when they stick that gun in your head, like, you know what ties are like as well. Everyone will be screaming, like, you'll be like, oh shit.
Someone's on the phone, like, looking at you. There you go.
Like, I just finished training. I'm sorry.
It's crazy. I was even scared driving around with my spats on, like if they're gonna know we were in training gear, like we're not supposed to be training, you know. I have no idea, but man, hopefully that this thing, it comes down soon and we can get back to life, because I'm sure everybody's itching to, you know. And when we do, we're gonna have a special appreciation for some new things, you know, things that we didn't maybe appreciate, you know. I used to not like to go to the restaurants on the Tiger Road because there's so many people. Now I'm gonna like,
yeah, well,
you know, I know like, too many people there. But now it's like, fuck that. I want to wait in line for an hour with all the people and talk to them.
I'm already thinking in my head, when Tiger opens again, it's a mass amount of people. Like, how scared is everyone gonna be around each other?
I don't know. Yeah,
like,
sweating
it's
next
not
to
gonna be the same.
Yo,
for a long time.
Maybe it's all right. So the two things. What I'm hoping is maybe Thailand like stays open because the tourism is so big in Thailand, and then this becomes like the Mad Max Wild Wild West, and it's like people are like, you train still? Like, yeah, yo, I live in Thailand. And it's like, what? Because the Tiger stays open, and like everybody else in America doesn't train, and they're scared, and it's closed, and there's no shows, and then we live in like this. Yo, imagine, you know what I'm thinking though, dog? If the MMA shuts down, we can do like an underground series of like fights, yo, and we get the best guys in the world, and you just bet money, and we do like bring back the backyard fights.
That's if they let you travel.
Fighters can
they don't even let anyone travel right now.
If you can't fucking travel.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows what? Like, the British Embassy said to me, right? We got a thing through email saying, yo, this is the last flight leaving Thailand. All British expats, we need you on this flight. I'm like, I am not going back to the UK to sit in my bedroom and like be told what to do, and
they're gonna charge you like triple.
to get home after.
Yeah.
No, they're going to open the airport again in June. But that was the thing. You're not going home till June. I'm like, I'm not going home anyway. Relax.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm here. So, but then I wonder, like, when US lift their sanctions, are we going to go into full lockdown? And then we're locked while they're open. Like, each country's like at different stages, aren't they?
There's so many questions that are unanswered still. It's still too early.
Insane. Well, we're good. We're living.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to my mum and to my auntie. They're on the front line now. She's a nurse, you know.
Wow. Hey, my hat's off to them.
They're hitting it hard right now.
God bless them and good luck, man.
The rest of the country sat in the house. The nurses, the doctors, the key workers, they're out there busting their ass 12, 13 hours a day, saving people. So big shout out to them. Big love.
Yeah, man, that's everybody that we know, that's any nurses, anything, you know, that's so huge, man. It's so huge. You're like the real heroes, you know. Those are the jobs. Those are the jobs that should be making like the big money in the world.
The fuck am I an MMA fighter? Do a little hobby for a living, like. I don't mean shit. These guys are saving lives.
Yeah, it's like, what do? We get tired. We're grinding all day long, grinding. Well, you got a little tired, your heart rate got up, a little sweaty.
They're saving lives,
and they're risking it all.
They're out
too.
here saving lives.
You know what else is crazy? That she's telling me, like, people. Like, let's say I get a fever now, and you're like, shit, you call the ambulance, I leave, I go. Your family you don't get to see them. You can't go visit them, you can't have a funeral.
Oh, man.
Bro, they're gone for life. So they're sat next to you 1 minute, you don't mourn them, you don't anything, they're gone. And it's like, what the fuck? What kind of reality is that we're living in?
This is when I got really scared, yo. Somebody said this in a video where I never thought about that. He's like, yo, man, he's like, the thing is when you get corona it's like, you're so infectious.
Yeah.
He's like, you're alone in there in that room. You're in quarantine, and if you die alone, yo. Your family can't be there to hold your hand. I was like, oh,
serious
fuck.
shit.
That shit gave me goosebumps when I heard him speaking. He was like kind of tearing up. He's like, man, for everybody going through it right now, be strong, be safe. He's telling people to like be smart and stay at home and stuff like that. And he was saying, he's like, yo, because the thing is with this, it's not like your family can't be there in the room with you and like watch you go like normal times, you know, if you crash or something like that and you're in a coma,
you literally say bye to your family when
they're gonna watch you from a window, dog, or something.
You got a 2-week time limit. You might go in that time, you know.
Yeah, especially for the older people.
And you're good, and then you're not, you know.
I mean, what started off as a meme on Instagram, Corona meme, like everyone went in China. Oh, Chinese a lot just took over the world like that. And it just shows how vulnerable we really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Super vulnerable.
Expose a lot of the frailties of different parts of society.
All just shut down completely.
Mm-hmm.
So
world economy can change, man. You know, like it's crazy, man. The whole world's going through it, so we're all doing it together, and some got it better than others. So we just got to be grateful for the opportunities that we have and the things that we got, you know.
Yeah.
PFL, open back up so I can get the bag at
Yo,
least before.
PFL.
At least before you fold. Let me get the bag, and then whatever you want to do from there, you do.
You've been in America for a long time. You picked up a lot of slack.
we gotta. Yo, but now's a good time. You're in quarantine. You're surrounded by the best in the world. Before we close out? So, man, how's it like training? You're in Thailand, training all over the world, and now you're residing here. Are you going to do a camp here?
This is where I'm going to be for this $1 million. Like, getting great training. I mean, I was speaking the other day. Like, I remember watching Fabio Pinca, for example, when I went to watch him in the UK years ago and beat the shit out of Liam Harrison, who's a friend of mine. I was like, whoa, who's this guy? And I DM'd him on Twitter, on Instagram. Sorry, I'm like, 2016. Like, oh, can I train with you? He's like, yeah, come to France randomly. Been a fanboy, and then he just walks into Tiger. And like, this happens all the time here. Just look around, it's littered with talent.
Yep.
And
it's
great
crazy.
coaches, great people. There's always been user guys have been the hub though. Like, yous have kept it together here. Like, with the other gyms, everyone comes and goes. Yous have kept a solid group of coaches, and I think that's vital for success of the gym. And ultimately, look how many successful fighters are coming out of the gym now.
Man, right now, there's going to be a chance where we could have, like, the division from, like, bantamweight up. We could have like a UFC champion that's like training currently with the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking crazy.
I mean, Valentina, Kai Kara, possibly 125.
Yep.
You know, looking at Peter. Ain't nobody stopping Peter. Peter Yan is on a
monster
on a vision quest right now. Ain't nobody stopping that man. You know, so it's Valentina. It's crazy. Just a group. Yeah, just seeing all these people that come in all the time, you know, it's like, it's hard not to like get starstruck. You know, like you want to talk, you want to talk to them, and it's weird. So sometimes I don't even want to bother the people, you know. You see them all.
Yeah, I get like that sometimes, honestly, and like everyone's real friendly here. There's a good vibe, and I just don't know. I feel like this has been my home. I fight it sometimes, but I always tell people when I'm in the States or wherever I am, I go, this is where I feel like at my best, and the training, and it is. And coming back now, seen how far Tiger's come from 2012.
Oh my God, yeah.
There was a little hole in the wall.
Oh my God.
What was it like? You had the blue mats, right? It was like,
bro, it was nothing.
I think when you had just got there, they had just opened up the little MMA room, I think.
yeah. It just opened. Roger was here.
Yeah, Roger was there.
And Brian. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was obviously nothing to what it is now. And I've just been watching it, coming back and forward. But the last time I was there, as that top team, that was because the guy who trained at Alliance with, Eric Uresk, the coach.
Yeah.
He was over there. And like all my training partners from Alliance went to there. And I was
they
like,
had a little connection there, you know.
Yeah, I was like, shit. I couldn't exactly go there. Alliance of this, so it got a bit. There's just some street politics sometimes with them two gyms. Not anymore. I mean, now it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. Back then, but if you got your boys in Alliance, you know, you're gonna want to train with where you know where you get in, you know. So I mean, but Tiger's by far just took over the whole soil now. I mean, Tiger is the soil now, isn't it? Really, and it deserves to be because it was the first one there. It's built a market. His marketing has been insane. For guys like yourselves, you've had great coaches all the way through, high level talent going in and out, and that is why they built a name they have, and they've got the champions they have. Yeah, it's like the university for fighting, you know. That's the thing,
insane,
bro. All we love to do, like, what do we like to do? We want to train. We want to be with, you know, like, and you can wake up at it doesn't matter what time you like to train. You can get a full camp in. It's not like if you got what if you're into your team back home? They train at 8 and at 4. If you can't, you can't.
Bro,
you can't make it.
Who doesn't want to look at nice ass while you're training as well?
Hey,
just nice ass everywhere. Let's get it right. And you walk into the MMA section. You're walking past CrossFit. You're like, God damn.
As soon as you pull into the Tiger Road, it's hard. You gotta keep your glasses on.
What a bonus!
It's a great layout.
It's like a Brucey bonus. Like
you gotta stay focused, you know.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's definitely a bonus to add on.
And the weight room in Tiger faces the MMA area, not too shabby, you know.
It's a great setup. I mean, like I say, from when I first came to now, it's like whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The big cage. You have the big cage, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, how's the PFL cage? It's like size wise, like.
I can't remember. I mean, I think I've had 2 from now. Like I say, the tournament started. It's supposed to start May this year. I got signed to him in June last year, and I was like, yo, I ain't waiting until May next year. So they went, we'll give you 2 fights on the undercards this year.
Man.
So like that was thrown in with the deal. So it was so lucky that I got to have these 2 fights, because who knows when this is going to start now. That would have left me seriously inactive.
Yeah,
so
got a nice little 2 in the bank there.
2
in the organization.
Found my feet, met all the staff.
Yeah, you know everybody. And you're a fucking winner in that.
I'm on side.
Undefeated.
2 wins. Like
prospect.
Put everybody on notice.
Fought an
to be honest, I'm looking forward to fighting Lance Palmer. I genuinely mean that. I mean, he's the guy to beat.
Close in your scene, huh? California, San Diego.
He's very good.
You guys are in the South. Alliance and Faber are far from each other.
Dom's fought the whole team, hasn't he? I mean,
Dom, that's right.
Yeah. So like, it was another one of them moments when I got because I nearly had it on short notice. I don't know if you heard what happened. That Daniel Pineda got to the final last year, popped for steroids 3 weeks before the fight, and I was like, yo, give me that fight. So then they all board sat down. They were going to give it me, and then Alex Gilpin, who got to the semis and got beat, he was like, yo, I got to the semis and got beat, but Palmer had already beat him twice that year.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, no one don't want to see that fight again. Let me slide up in there. And they were like, yeah, but then it was in his contract. I was like, fuck. But then like I was really campaigning for it. But it's set something now. It's set. He knows who I am. I know who he is. We're at press conference. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. We're like, yo, Lance, I'm the guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to be coming through, and I'm just wrestling my ass off every day. There's no secrets in what Lance Palmer's going to do. There's no secrets in what I'm going to do. It's who can implement the game plan, and that's what I'm doing.
A good old classic chess battle.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Who's
He's 10-0 in the PFL. Everyone's terrified. That's the guy I want to fight. Even when I go into sparring or wrestling or anything, I want that guy. Who's the best guy? I want that. I don't want to be. I'm in it to be the best, you know, and that's the guy I want. Hopefully, I get him earlier. Hopefully, I get him in the final, whenever. But that's the guy I want to cross paths with. That's the guy I want to look across the cage and go, right. And that's the guy that people think I can't beat. So I can't wait to prove them wrong.
That's the one you want.
Honestly, that's how I'm looking at this fight.
I love it, man. That's the only way to beat. Hey, so just to close the show really quick, I know you were going on this earlier. What advice do you give? There's a lot of people listen to the podcast, like teammates of mine that are just starting up, or like teammates of yours, or guys you got coming up under you, or anything like this. What advice what's one sound advice that you would give to any upcoming fighters for their career?
Consistency is key to everything. I mean, like I say, I've gone the long haul. I've trained twice a day my whole life since the day I started it, and now I'm finally getting somewhere. But guess what? It took 12 years, and I'm not saying that, you know, I've given up a lot though to be here. I give up family. I give up you know, you guys, if you're a fighter, you know how much you have to sacrifice to be here. You have to really look in the mirror and think, is this what I want to do? And if it is, put everything else to one side. Even the fact of having children and things like that, everything has to go on hold. This has to be a serious thing that you sit down and think, right, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of people take one loss, a lot of people get an injury, a lot of people, this is why I fought with Dominic Cruz so bad too. Like, all them injuries he's had, he's been sat on the sideline for years, and the mentality strong, come back, win the belt. And that's why I fought with people like that, with that kind of mentality, that have been in the game for a long time. They've had ups, they've had downs, and you know, don't have one loss and just start looking elsewhere. This is a long-term thing. You got to stick at it. You got to be around the right people that know what they're doing. Forget these fake gyms and get yourself to one of these kind of camps. Get yourself to a Tiger. If you can't afford to be a Tiger, look around the UK or whatever country you're in. See where the hub is. Immerse yourself in it fully, and just don't try and do it half-hearted, because if you do, you'll get your ass killed. You get seriously hurt. And that's how I look at it.
You can get hurt, yo. Your life's on the line. You got to train like your life's on the line, because it literally is, you know. Every time, yo. You can come in there, you get your fucking you get kicked in the neck the right way, Ronda Rousey style, you know, and like you may be talking a little bit slower in a couple of years, you know. So consistency is my number one thing. Stick around. You got to be around. And you gotta be around. If you guys don't believe, look at Masvidal, look at you, man. Look at guys in the game that have, you know, you got to go through the ups and the downs. But sometimes you don't know when you're there, right? Like, you think you're about to go home, you were about to you were done, pissing blood, 5-5, saying, you know, that's crazy, bro.
5-5 after that long, 11 years in the game, like what?
It just don't feel right, yo.
Like, I'd spent more on the camp, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of pocket again. I'm like, I thought it was past because I was making bank in ACB. I was earning, and I took a massive one to get where I needed to be, a massive drop.
All right. Here we go. So that's the thing, man. People don't see that, man. People don't understand that. Like, yo, like, you could have just stayed and you know, you could have been taking the money, but you took the big gamble, man. That's big, man.
I took the gamble, and ultimately it paid off, because everyone was like, whoa, that was unjust. That kid should have been in. And it kind of got a heartwarming story. Got an aerial. Got Luke Thomas. I got on all the major.
Luke Thomas
and it gave you leverage in whatever negotiation you go into after that.
Big time. I mean, it put my name out there, and a lot of people felt for me at that stage and was like, not that I wanted that to happen. I wanted to just sail through. In my head, I was sailing through, and I was going to be this guy and this guy, but it didn't happen. And it was like, look in the mirror time. Like, oh shit, what now? And I've made the most out of a bad situation, and I'm sat here talking to you guys, and I'm about to be a millionaire. I'm a world champion. How about that?
I'm glad we got you on the podcast before you got the belt. Hey, but when we do the podcast, you got to wear the belt.
Yeah, and the bag.
The whole podcast.
Bring the bag as well.
Bring the
over
podcast.
The shoulder. And the check.
Yeah, well, we aren't going to be rolling in a motorbike. You're going to come in like a nice fucking something on wheels.
Yeah.
One of those convertible, one of those crazy.
Bro, I've already got it planned. The villa that I'm in now, I'm just going to come back and go, how much you want for this? There you go. I'm just going to live the rest of my life happy in Thailand.
Hey, you got everything you need, man.
Yeah, I have.
Hey, Brendan, it was a pleasure having you, man. I'm really glad. Thank you for coming on and spending some time with us, bro. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. Loved it.
Man, we can close out with that, man. Great advice for the young and up-and-coming fighters. Any social media handles, anything you want to tell the fans and people on the Honey Badger Hour how they can find you?
Yeah, just the regular Instagram, BRENZ264. Twitter, Brendan264. Facebook, Brendan Loughnane. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. It's been a long journey, 2012, and also been around, man. So yeah, it's great to be here in good spirits.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, times are rough right now. A lot of people are going through hard times, guys. So we do this podcast. So hopefully when you watch this, you can get your mind off of the shit. We're meeting some new people. And hey, man, I'm so glad you're here in Thailand training with us. I can't wait. We're going to have a lot of sessions. And let's get these wins. Let's get this money, baby.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, guy.
Peace.